Birthdays are supposed to be fun. I'm terrified of them now. The older I get, the faster they come. Birthdays. I used to love them. Cake, cheap party hats, the thrill of opening presents you knew were probably crap, but still presents. Now, the mere thought of another year tacked onto my age sends a chill down my spine, colder than a New England winter. It started when I was 7. The clowns. I remember the party clearly, balloons everywhere. My mom's awful meatloaf, she thought it was my favorite. All my classmates crammed into our tiny living room. Then the doorbell rang. My dad opened the door and in walked clowns, not the friendly kind. These clowns were tall, gaunt, with smiles painted too wide, eyes that seemed to swallow the light. They didn't speak, just stared, their painted grins impossibly fixed. My friend screamed. My mom fainted. I remember hiding behind the sofa, the sickly sweet smell of cheap makeup filling my nostrils. They left as abruptly as they came, vanishing into thin air. Everyone chalked it up to a collective hallucination, a bad batch of something in the punch. Except I knew what I saw. Each birthday after that, something off happened. When I turned 10, all the lights in the house shattered at precisely 10:10 a.m. No power surge, no explanation, just shattered. 13, a swarm of bees descended on my birthday cake the moment I blew out the candles. They weren't aggressive, just there, coating the frosting in a buzzing black mass. 16, I woke up to find all the mirrors in the house covered in handprints, not mine. I started dreading my birthdays. I became withdrawn, isolating myself as the dreaded day approached. My parents, bless their hearts, tried to normalize things, throwing parties, reassuring me it was all just coincidence. But the fear was a constant companion, a knot tightening in my stomach with each passing year. Then came 21. That was the worst one yet. I was at college then, trying to pretend everything was normal. A few friends dragged me to a bar. We were having a decent time, or at least I was pretending to. Then the music stopped, the lights flickered, and everyone in the bar turned to look at me, not in a celebratory way. Their eyes were blank, empty, filled with an unnerving knowing something. They just stared, silent, unblinking. I ran. I didn't stop running until I was back in my dorm room, heart pounding, convinced I was going insane. After that, I started seeing Dr. Holloway. She was a kind, patient woman, but I could see the skepticism in her eyes whenever I described the events. She diagnosed me with anxiety disorder, prescribed medication. It helped a little, numbing the edge of the terror, but it didn't make the birthdays go away. Now I'm 38. Another birthday looms. And this year, things are different. This year, it's not just me. It started a few weeks ago. A young woman, a waitress at the local diner, disappeared. Then a week later, a shop owner vanished. No signs of foul play, no witnesses, just gone. Detective Davies, a man with tired eyes and a permanent 5 o'clock shadow, is leading the investigation. He's been asking questions, talking to everyone in town. Havenwood is a small town, the kind where everyone knows everyone else's business. It's picturesque, quaint, a place where nothing bad is supposed to happen. Except something is. I teach history at the local high school. I've always been fascinated by the past, by the stories hidden beneath the surface of things. So I started digging. I spent hours at the Havenwood Historical Society library, poring over old records, dusty books, anything that might shed light on the strange occurrences in town. That's when I met Old Man Abernathy. He's the town's resident historian, a wizened old coot who knows more about Havenwood than anyone else. He initially dismissed my questions, telling me I was chasing ghosts. But then I mentioned my birthday. His eyes flickered. The Thorne bloodline, he rasped, his voice like dry leaves rustling in the wind. It's always the Thorne bloodline. He told me a story about the founding of Havenwood, about a dark pact made with something in the woods, a pact that required a sacrifice, a payment due on a specific day, a day that coincided with my birthday. He didn't say what the sacrifice was or who the pact was made with. He just looked at me, his eyes filled with a deep, ancient fear. "Leave it alone, Elias," he warned. "Some things are best left buried," but I couldn't leave it alone, not anymore. People were disappearing. My birthday was approaching, and I had a feeling, a cold, sinking feeling that it was all connected. I started researching my own family history. The Thorne family had been in Havenwood since the beginning, one of the founding families. I found records of strange events, unexplained deaths, whispers of madness and despair. It was like a dark thread running through my family's history, a thread that seemed to tighten with each generation. I told Dr. Holloway about Abernathy's story, about my family history. She looked at me with concern. "Elias, I think you're under a lot of stress. Maybe you should take some time off, get away from Havenwood." But I couldn't leave. I felt a responsibility, a sense of dread that compelled me to stay and uncover the truth. Then Lisa Carter, a former student of mine who now works as a local reporter, approached me. She'd heard about my eccentricities regarding my birthdays and saw a potential human interest story. I hesitated, but then I decided to tell her everything. I figured the more people who knew, the better. Lisa, to her credit, listened without judgment. She was skeptical, of course, but she was also intrigued. She started doing her own research, digging into the disappearances, interviewing townspeople. The closer my birthday got, the more intense things became. I started hearing noises in the house at night, whispers in the dark. Shadows flickered in the corners of my eyes. The air grew heavy, thick with a sense of dread. One night I woke up to find my bedroom door open. Standing in the doorway was a figure, tall and gaunt, with a smile painted too wide. It didn't speak, just stared, its painted grin impossibly fixed, just like the clowns from my childhood. I screamed. The figure vanished. I lay in bed, shaking, convinced I was losing my mind. I called Detective Davies. He came to the house, took a report. He was polite, professional, but I could tell he didn't believe me. He attributed it to stress, a bad dream, but I knew what I saw. The day before my birthday, Lisa called me. She'd found something. She'd uncovered a ritual, an ancient ceremony performed in the woods outside of Havenwood. A ceremony meant to appease something that dwelled in the darkness, a ceremony that required a sacrifice. The ceremony was always performed on the Thorne family land, and the sacrifice was always someone connected to the Thorne family. My blood ran cold. Lisa and I met in the town square. The air was thick with an unnatural stillness. The sky was a bruised purple, heavy with the threat of a storm. "Elias, I think you're in danger," Lisa said, her voice tight with fear. "You need to get out of Havenwood, now." But I couldn't leave. Not yet. I had to know. We drove out to the Thorne family land, a sprawling, overgrown forest on the outskirts of town. We parked the car and walked into the woods, the trees looming over us like skeletal figures. We found the site of the ritual, a clearing in the woods marked by a circle of stones. In the center of the circle was an altar stained with what looked like dried blood. As we stood there, a cold wind swept through the trees. The sky darkened, and I heard a sound, a low, guttural chanting coming from the depths of the woods. Lisa grabbed my arm. "We need to go," she said, her voice trembling, but it was too late. Figures emerged from the trees. Tall, gaunt figures with smiles painted too wide. The birthday guests. They surrounded us, their eyes fixed on me. The chanting grew louder, more intense. I felt a presence, a dark, malevolent presence closing in. It was like a weight pressing down on me, crushing the air from my lungs. Lisa screamed. She tried to run, but the figures blocked her path. I knew what they wanted. They wanted me. They wanted the sacrifice, but I wasn't going to let them have me. I ran as fast as I could, deeper into the woods. The figures pursued me, their silent, relentless pursuit more terrifying than any scream. I stumbled, fell. I looked up to see the figures closing in. Then I saw him. Old man Abernathy, standing at the edge of the clearing. He was holding something in his hands, a silver amulet glowing with a faint light. He raised the amulet and began to chant, his voice strong and clear. The figures hesitated, recoiled. Abernathy shouted, "Run, Elias, run." I didn't need to be told twice. I scrambled to my feet and ran, away from the clearing, away from the figures, away from the darkness. I didn't stop running until I reached the edge of the woods. I looked back to see Abernathy still chanting, holding off the figures. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he survived. I found Lisa huddled by the car, shaking with fear. We got in and drove away, back to Havenwood, back to the safety of the town. My birthday came and went. Nothing happened. No clowns, no shattered lights, no swarms of bees, just silence. The disappearances stopped. Detective Davies closed the case, attributing it to something. He didn't say what. Life in Havenwood slowly returned to normal, but I knew it wouldn't last. I still live in the same house, teach at the same school, but I'm not the same. I'm forever changed, haunted by what I saw, by what I experienced. I visit Abernathy's grave every week. There's no body, just a stone marker with his name. I leave flowers, a silent thank you for saving my life. Dr. Holloway still sees me. She says I'm making progress, coping with the trauma, but I know the truth. The truth is, it's not over. I can feel it lurking in the shadows, waiting for its chance to return. My next birthday is coming, and I'm terrified. I know they'll be back. They always come back. The pact hasn't been broken, only postponed. And eventually, the debt will be due. I don't know when, and I don't know how, but I know it's coming. The worst part is I think they're not just coming for me. I think they're coming for Havenwood, and I don't know how to stop them. All I know is that birthdays are supposed to be fun. But for me, they're just a countdown to the next nightmare. And this time, I have a feeling it will be one I can't wake up from. The faces I saw out there in the woods, they weren't random. They were familiar. People I knew. People I trusted. And that's what scares me the most. Who will they take next? And will I be able to stop them? I just don't know.